The password, please. I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind? No! To the right! To the right! To the right! You are a funny man, Mr. Bond. Ah! Yeah! Ah! Ah! Yes! 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 Now the whole world's gonna know that you died scratching my balls.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Run It Back. I'm your host, Blair Bomber, and this week I'm talking about the greatest James Bond film of all time, Casino Royale. If you try and come at me with some weak ass GoldenEye, the game was better than the movie. Don't ever get that twisted. That's not you lose all your clout with me if you try and tell me that any film previous to this one was better than Casino Royale. I mean, like the whole nostalgia factor for like the old Sean Connery, and thank God I remembered his name this time, because last time I could not remember his name. And my boy Chaz Cock, yeah, that's a real name. You're like, wait, is that a real name? Like, yeah, it's a real name that for some reason he has not changed at all, and he teaches kids now. So shout out Chaz Cock for molding young minds and trying to keep me in check on not knowing who Sean Connery was. Well, I knew who he was, but I just couldn't think of his name when he played Bond. And yeah, that's kind of embarrassing considering how much I love James. Actually, it's not embarrassing at all, actually, because I'm such a Daniel Craig fan that my mind was just like, you know what, dude, fuck all the other names of the other Bonds. They didn't even happen. You know, that's how I feel. Daniel Craig as James Bond, he is like he's made all the other things obsolete. Like, different era. Yeah, it's like anybody who was great before black players could play in any sport. Like, yeah, you were good, but no one was throwing you that cheese from Cuba, you know? Ooh, he's coming out swinging early, team. Coming out swinging early. Oh, man. All right, let's do this quick synopsis of the movie. Armed with a license to kill, secret agent James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007 and must defeat a private banker to terrorists in a high-stakes game of poker at Casino Royale, Montenegro. But things are not what they seem. Okay, dude, you could put "but things are not what they seem" at the end of any synopsis, and it'll make it more intriguing. Like, it just makes it sinister, kind of like you do like a Winnie the Pooh goes to the Tiger Land, where he for some reason they don't pronounce the I right. They add an extra G, so it's Tigger the Tiger, which makes no sense. But then it's like, oh, he's going to Tiger Land, but things are not what they seem. It makes it interesting, I guess. All right, I'm gonna go right into this one though, because the opening chase scene of this is next level. It really is, because you have a guy who's, well, I mean, the pre, I guess it's the opening scene is him in the black and white where he's fighting the guy and then he drowns the guy in the sink. Like, by the way, James Bond, you gotta know you didn't drown the guy in the sink. Like, he's got a way longer breath hold than that, which I guess he did know because he went and got his gun and then kind of sensed it. Which is like, if you know he's gonna come up with a gun after you kind of fake drown him, I guess that's kind of a cool it's kind of a baller move, I guess, the turn in the gunfire. But I don't really count that as like the opening scene. The opening scene to me is the chase scene when they're in like, what are they, Madagascar? Where are they? Doesn't matter. Bond is chasing the dude. By the way, if you didn't know this, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. You probably didn't. But the black guy he's chasing I think he's one of the founders of parkour. He's a French dude. took him like 8 weeks to shoot that scene, which makes sense because that's a lot of stunts going on. I love how like Bond is just like, oh wait, hold on, you guys are doing, you're gonna do all this cool jumping fancy shit. I'm just gonna gut this one out and run through some drywall. I love that. I think that shows a lot about Bond early on in this movie because it's like, okay, he's not the flashiest dude. He's not going to be he's not the best at any of the, I mean, does that make sense? No, it makes sense. Not the fastest guy, but he's the smartest guy. So he's going to outsmart you. And he's just a total beefcake, by the way. I don't know what that has to do with my original point of Bond being the smartest guy in the room, which he clearly is. All right. Dude, this movie really is like the movie of 1,000 chase scenes. I mean, there's the free running chase scene in the beginning. Dope. By the way, super cool when Bond just chases after the guy and then just bursts into the embassy like, I'm going to take this from here, guys. And he just shoots everybody. Bold. Shoot the cameras first, James. Whatever. The gas truck chase scene. Incredible. I know I'm bouncing around here, but I'm just giving the highlights. When the guy's supposed to drive that gas truck into that big plane so Lashif can make all of his money betting against the market. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the movie, guys? Have you seen the movie? I need you guys to just get with the program, okay? Okay, Bonnie? Bonnie, pause this right now and go watch Casino Royale and then come back and listen to this, all right? No exceptions. You got me? Good. And then there's the Venice, the ending chasing when he's following his girl, but she's not really his girl. She's like running away. Great. All great. Man, but Daniel Craig, he got a little bit of flack, I guess, I remember this. This is 2006, I think this came out. And he got some flack. He's like, oh, he's blonde? Like, what? By the way, this Bond is all about the bees. Blonde, bodied up, and he's banging bad bitches. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing in this movie. He's just banging out constantly. And that's good. It's a young Bond, a young, rugged Bond. Who, dude, okay, seriously, guys, dude is bodied up. Arguably too yoked for a Bond. Because if you think about how all Bond does is smoke, drink, and fuck. That's all he does. And then he murders, people inside of his world of espionage. That's what he does. So does he have time to work out? Like, do we ever see Bond working out other than Skyfall when they're testing his ability to be, I mean, the dude is shredded though. Oh, and there's that scene. Okay, dude, I don't want to get too sus here, but like, real talk, when Daniel Craig comes out of the water with that tiny little Speedo on, and he's packing a little bit. He's packing. He's got a piece to him. He's got a nice little piece, but it's overshadowed by the dude's just unreal. He has the Tom Hardy in Warrior body. Just like, I can do 150 push-ups in a row, and then I'm gonna fuck your wife and your wife's sister, and then I'm gonna do some sit-ups. That's what he's gonna do. That's James Bond in this movie. That's the kind of energy he has. That meathead energy where he's like, well, that's the thing. It's like, Bond's more of a smart guy. Like, he's not supposed to be in shape, and I guess they were saying that like that doesn't work to have a guy be that yoked because that's not what he's doing. But at the same time, get with the program. Like, this movie was 2006. It's all about being in good shape. That's attractive. It's not like, I guess this was okay. Here's a timeline as I understand it. Back in like the 90s, let's say, that's when Pierce Brosnan was Bond, right? And he was just kind of all like old school man, where he's tall, not really muscular, but it's that dad bod. He had the original dad bod. And then 2006, mid to late 2000s, people started getting all cut up because it's like, I want to be appealing on camera. Like, remember, Bill Burr said it best in one of his specials. He's like, Ben Stiller had abs in Meet the Parents, but he didn't need to do that. It didn't serve his character at all. But he knew he's going to be on camera, should be in shape. So then so now we have this new Bond. We've had, 5 movies or whatever it was with Pierce Brosnan with, a good looking face, good looking guy, by the way. I'm not saying Pierce Brosnan is not. You could say I would say that he has a better face than Daniel Craig. But Daniel Craig has the body. If you put and Daniel Craig's shorter than him too. So if you put Daniel Craig with that dad body, this doesn't really work. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of had to be, it kind of makes sense. Like, he's shredded for this. But he's also kind of grisly, if that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going down the wrong rabbit hole. Anyway, he's yoked out of his mind. And then he's a blondie, which James Bond traditionally not blonde. But if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, guys, Sean Connery wore a toupee for all the Bond movies. He was bald. Can I get a bald Bond, please? Can I get a bald Bond? How mad would people be if there was like a guy with, and I'm not talking like a shaved head Bond, because a Bond villain has to have a shaved head. That's what that is. But imagine like a Bond with the cul-de-sac, like what I got going on with after like 5 days of no shaving my head, or they're just or like give him like a little island in the front. He would still, it wouldn't matter, because like you don't want all the girls to be shallow, because it's like they don't sleep with Bond because he's super attractive. It's because he's so charming. And he's attractive. What am I saying? All those guys are all dime pieces. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. That was disgusting. What's it? Roger Moore, George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. Right? Those are the Bonds, aren't they? That makes sense, doesn't it? I'm sure there's one more I'm missing. But all the guys, good-looking dudes. He was written to be a good-looking guy. British Special Forces dude, better be good looking. Okay, now I'm getting hung up on the Bond part. Let's keep going. The villain of this movie, Le Chiffre, worst name ever. Please, that is the worst. Le Chiffre. What does it mean? It means to catch the cat, or a cat, or a numbers breaker. I think it means like something about numbers. Like he's a code breaker. I don't think anyone could have done this better than the guy who did it, Mads Mikkelsen. Great villain, considering dude's a fucking nerd. He plays poker and knows numbers. He's a CPA. He's an accountant. He's an accountant for terrorists, and he clearly has a gambling problem, because he just took all the balls on this guy. Because what does he do? He partners with the African warlord, right? And says, "Hey, give me all your money, and I promise it'll be safe with me, and you can get it anywhere in the world." And the African guy's like, "Oh, man, I thank you so much." Is that Asian? Am I doing an Asian accent for my African accent? Jesus Christ. That's not very good. I should edit that out. But 11:52. Yeah, take that out, Blair. You can't have an Asian accent. You can't attempt an African accent, which is already super messed up to do as a white guy. But maybe that shows how not racist I am, by attempting one accent and then doing a completely different one. It shows that I don't see voice. I don't see voices, guys. I don't see color. I don't see accents. That's how I'm colorblind, and apparently I am accent deaf. So you know what? I'm gonna keep that in there, because I made a great point. I'm talking to myself. It's the dumbest thing I could ever do. And the fact that I talk to myself with no one in the room, and then I laugh, crazy person. I'm a crazy person. Le Chiffre. He takes all his money from the African warlord, and then he's like, I'm gonna double this money real quick. I'm gonna double this money. I'm gonna fix this whole thing, because it's the plane. It's that big ass plane that he has. That the guy is the giant, like 97 or 957. Why is it called a 757? Is that something to do with the dimensions of which it's been made? I have no idea. Anyway, he plans to sabotage the opening and bet against the stock. So like once their stock crashes, he bets the other way, and then he makes double the money, right? Doesn't work out because Bond is like, not today, dude. That could pretty much describe all Bond movies, though. Him just going, not today. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But Lashif, okay, so what I'm trying to say is Lashif on paper shouldn't be a formidable foe. He's not a great villain on paper. But that's when Mads Mikkelsen comes in, and he doesn't fuck around, dude. The biggest knock I have against him is the fact that he periods out his eye. You've seen this? You guys see this? Like it's like his eyes all fucked up, so then he weeps blood. But he's just period on it. To me, that's just period, because it only happens to him when he's like really emotional, and he doesn't know how to express himself, so he just like period bloods out of his eye. That's what he does. So, could you imagine? I wonder if anybody, when they read the script, was like, okay, then he weeps blood. They mean it's that time of the month for his emotions. There's like a deleted scene of him. He bleeds from his eyes. Now he's eating chocolate and watching The View. Oh man, that was mean. But I think you guys know my heart's in the right place. All right, now the Bond chicks, the Bond girls, the Bond chicks. They don't call them the Bond chicks; they're the Bond girls. You want to be a Bond girl or not? Do you want to be a Bond girl or not? Well, you need to be exotic and have titties. Mostly the new Bond girl, they gotta have titties. It's a big prerequisite for this thing. So like the first girl, where he wins the poker game against the guy, wins the guy's car, takes the wife home, and he's like, I'm gonna bang this wife. And then he just gets the information he needs, and he has that badass line. He's like, he orders like champagne or whatever, or wine. I think it's champagne. Orders champagne, and that guy's like, for two? And he's like, no, for one, because I'm getting the fuck out of here. And essentially, because of that girl's dead. That lady dies and was tortured too. Also tortured. Bond is a cold-blooded guy. Now, I wonder if he would have felt worse had he had sex with her and then she was killed. He really just made out with her on the floor for a little while, felled up some ass, got a little leg action. That's really the only thing he did that was terrible. Do you know what I mean? And also, like, the amount of, like, I think that look, I can only speak for myself. If I'm with a beautiful woman, married or not, and she's really into me, but I have this thing I need to do, like this job, I don't care how many people's lives it's going to save. I don't think I have the mental, I'm not strong enough mentally to stop doing the thing. Because that chick was in a 12 out of 10. Super dime piece. Totally bodied up. Very sexy. And she had the accent too. Like, I don't really know where she's from. Like, she's from Cuba. She's from Brazil. She's kind of like, she's cultured too. And she's tall with, blow out everything. Oh. And so for Bond to just put the brakes on and then go and get into a fight with a guy in a gas truck where he gets his ass beat for the most part. But again, doesn't need to. He's working smarter, not harder. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when he clips the thing to the guy's waist belt and then it blows up, the guy essentially kills himself. But then all I'm trying to say is, I think I let people die and have sex with that girl because she's so hot. And I'm weak. Guys. I wish I wasn't this weak, but this is just me. And I'm being really vulnerable with you guys right now. So if you could just show me a little bit of love back, like, Blair, we are very happy that you are seeing these holes and these flaws in your personality. So we commend you for that. Just give me a little bit, just give me a little pat on the back. Just a little validation. Tell me I'm doing okay. I'm not asking for the world, guys. You guys get me? We're on the same page? Because I want to move on, whether we're on the same page or not. Eva Green. Bond girl. Hold on. Can you consider yourself a Bond girl? Is it a Bond girl just being in the movie, or does Bond have to be inside of you for it to really classify as a Bond girl? Bueller. Eva Green. She plays Vesper. She is a ball buster, dude. She's the kind of girl who will literally just stomp your dick out. Like, if she catches you cheating, she's taking your piece. your piece is hers now. Now, whether or not it stays attached to you is clearly up to how crazy she's feeling. But she might just gut you. I'd take pleasure in gutting you, boy. Name that movie. Did you say The Rock? Sean Connery, James Bond. Daniel Craig, James Bond. There's the connection. Nick Cage, 7 Degrees of Nick Cage. I know it's 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I know that. By the way, I'm terrible at that game. I can't put the movies together. There's too many. I just can't. Anyway, Ava Green, great Bond girl because she's smart, she's talented, she's also a double agent. If, spoiler alert, no one really gets that, I think we kind of breeze over that. The fact that she was totally dicking Bond down, which baller as fuck, dicking him down, and then playing him to get the money to save her boyfriend, who I'm pretty sure was also an agent who was playing her. Man, there are a lot of layers here. And it seems to me like they just said whatever. They just started adding layers to it, and like, I wonder if they'll be able to follow this. And then they were just like, oh, we don't care. It's we get the gist of it. Man, she has lots of bodies in this movie. I think they just said that, dude. They're like, we're gonna give you guys a lot of hotties, a lot of good-looking people. Because who else is there? There's the Bond girl that dies, the hot one. Then there's Lashif's girl, the blonde, with the little emo, kind of like blonde hair over her other eye in like solidarity for Lashif having the one eye that's messed up, which I think a little too far. She was hot. She gets out of the water in a bikini. Didn't need to have that scene, but we needed to have that scene because we want to see people that are bodied up. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I'm not. I'm right there, okay? I'm right. And I only say that about 16 to 18,000 times a day, just so I don't get confused about what's right and wrong. I'm the best. Look, I remember seeing this movie and being like, I know they don't show. This is gonna sound bad. It's gonna sound bad. I remember seeing this movie and thinking like, I wonder if they're gonna show boobs. Are we gonna see boobs? I just want to see like full boobs because she had sneaky boobs. You guys know what I'm saying? Eva Green, Vesper, sneaky boobs, covered up, but two real respectable chesticles. Like they were top notch. And we don't have to wait another 8 years to see them, live as fuck. Did you see 300 Rise of an Empire where she plays the badass warrior chick and then she bangs the other badass Spartan dude and they have that wild sex? She's choking him out and then her titties are out and it's just like, what is going on? Why are there? It's like, worth the wait? Yes, of course worth the wait. Ask anybody pre-Halle Berry Swordfish if they thought waiting to see Halle Berry's up top was worth the wait. And every single person would say, yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll wait another 10 years to see him again, and I bet they look just as good. This podcast has turned into me talking about tits. So if I lost you, well, don't really give a shit, because this one made me pretty happy. I mean, come on, man. Beautiful people in Bond movies. Beautiful people. Especially in this one. Lots of hotties. Look, that's another thing about, okay, so this movie kind of got knocked a little bit because of the poker. First of all, this happened during the poker boom of, 05. Remember that? This was in production. Poker was everywhere. It just lined up perfectly with the times. So, oh, man, they're playing all this poker in this movie, and they're really into it. It's like, dude, but it's cool. Poker at the time, whether you believe it or not today, poker at the time was super dope. Chris Moneymaker, people wanted to be around poker. It was sick. It was a cool thing. I hope I'm getting my dates right on this. Was Moneymaker in 2000? 06. 06 it was still going. I remember because I was playing a lot of poker in high school. We were doing the poker thing, so it was a big deal. Then there was the DVD renaissance of Rounders. So, yeah. I'm standing by that one. I don't care what anybody says. But people were hating on it because they said, they're doing too much to this. Look, when I watch a movie, I want to see people I don't see all the time. I want to see. I'm not saying I don't see hot people all the time, but I want to see the 0.001% of hotties. And if you're going to play poker, I want to see the most exciting poker. I don't want to see a guy going all in with 2-7 offsuit, trying to bluff the guy because he's wearing a weird hat with his glasses pulled up. I don't want to see that poker. That's realistic, but I don't want to see that. I want to see like the final scene when it's like guy's got flush, other guy's got 3 of a kind, whatever. I want this final hand. I want everyone to be all in. High stakes. Playing for what? Was it $150 million was the buyout? Pretty dope. How did it end? James Bond. Straight flush. Royal flush? Or was it 4 of a kind? See, I don't even know, but it was sick. So why are we hating on this? Man. What a nitpicky thing. You'd be like, oh, they play too much poker in the movie with the casino in the title. Yeah, what? Come on. Nitpicky, dude. Ugh. People just don't even get it. If you're gonna have a problem with any part of this movie, have a problem with the loose end of the African warlord, okay? Stay with me. So the kind of like the thing that puts all this in motion is Lashif is going into business with the African, the warlord, Lord of War, whatever you want to call him. By the way, the Nick Cage movie, don't sleep on it. Jared Leto's great in that movie, but this is not a PSA for Lord of War, even though I think it's on Netflix still. Check it out, doesn't matter. Lashif starts banking for the African warlord, takes his 150, whatever, I think 150 million. Takes it, puts it in his bank. Then he bets it against the market, right? Loses it all. So because he loses it all, he makes this game. This poker game, this high stakes poker game to win the money back. He's like, okay, well, I'll just win this. I'll win this fucking money, and then I'll be good to go. The African warlord finds out his money's been, essentially lost, and he goes to Montenegro. Finds Lashif, threatens to cut off his girl's arm. And he's like, just give me a couple days. Win this money, you'll have all your money back. Everything will be good. And he lets the guy live because he wants to get his money back, right? Then he walks out, and then him and Bond have the fight, eventually leading to Bond killing the warlord. So really just doing Lashif a favor, if you think about it, because he killed the guy that was going to kill Lashif, that put all this in motion. So I get why Lashif keeps going, but like the guy's dead. Like the guy that was making all the problems is now dead. Bond killed him. We just breeze over that. Just killed this guy who was definitely a big problem in Africa. And we're just like, I guess we're gonna forget about that because everyone forgets about Africa all the time. Makes no sense. But you guys want to get mad about the poker? Fuck off. Okay, and I have to talk about this just as we get close to wrapping this up. I got to talk about the torture scene, because the torture scene, holy shit! Every single dude saw that and was like, "Why is he naked? Why is he tied to a chair? Why does he have that rope with the ball on the end of it? Oh, sweet Jesus!" God, I actually looked it up. I wanted to see if that was. I wanted to work. Where would you even find? What kind of sick fuck finds that? Who just creates that? Writing this movie, then I was like, oh, he probably didn't make it up. It's probably something that people actually do. And that's when I looked up. Listen to this. That sort of torture is called Dutch scratching. The name has had to have changed by now, because it's the Bond ball sack torture. That's way more menacing than Dutch scratching. That is like, look, waterboarding sounds dope. Chinese finger torture sounds awful. Dutch scratching. Oh, I'm just gonna read this little blurb. That torture is called Dutch scratching, a technique for inflicting pain more than killing over a naked male subject who is strapped down to a seatless chair where his hands are tied behind the chair's backrest and his thighs or legs are tied to the leg of the chair. In such an awkward position, the naked and tied down male subject has his exposed and hanging ass and testicles. Well, that's not written very well. Hanging ass and testicles through the seatless chair, vulnerable to the torturer's whip using a knotted rope. Ugh. Dude, if you were a dude and you didn't look at that and be like, terrible. What a brutal way to get your shit stomped out. I've been hit in the dick so many times. Dick and balls, so many. You know what? I've been hitting the balls so many times that, dude, and I think that I would be okay in that torture situation because my sack is so high and tight that if I'm around any of my friends from college, my shit will just burrow up. It could be 85 degrees outside with a nice breeze and I'm having a good dick day. But if I even smell one of my friends from college who's just sack tap me endlessly, which unjustifiably so, I never tapped any sacks. People were just out to get me for no reason. Small guy. Let's hit him in the balls constantly. I never warranted any of that. They were bullying. It was bullying. And anyone of you guys from college that has a problem with this, well, you know what, dude? Why don't you just tap your own sack? Because you're lying to yourself if you think that I would ever come in anybody else's sack. I would never do that. I'm a man, and I respect you as a man, and I will never take your sack away from you the way you did to me. What I'm trying to say is I would survive this torture pretty well because my sack would just go straight upside. I think with some training, I think with some real good training, I could be like one of those guys. You know those guys that get kicked in the nuts, and they say they can like bring their balls up into their stomach. I think I could do that. I'm not kidding. I think if I had some like real training, I could train my nuts to just burrow up into my abdomen, and then people could just kick me where my balls are supposed to be, and then I'd be okay. I think I could do that. But yeah, no, but honestly, like this looks like it's like the worst torture ever, and it also shows how dope this version of Bond is because he's a crazy person. Like, I feel like they always made Bond so together in the other films. He was like, yeah, he had a drinking problem. Yeah, he's got abandonment issues. But this Bond is like an alcoholic Bond. Like an alcoholic sex addict. He's got all kinds of issues. He's struggling. And they're just like, we're going to put all this out there. So when he's pushed to the brink, which is his sack being destroyed, they're just like, yeah, no, watch him slip into insanity, and you can't break him. Just getting whack, ah, to the left, ah. Now everyone's gonna know you're just scratching my balls. It's such a. I'm making that. I'm gonna open with that probably. Just know that that's the inception of the opening of this one was just from this end part, because that is so funny to me. That scene. And they're making it funny too. He's got a sense of humor, getting his ball stomped out. Which, by the way, this is probably the best thing that could happen to Bond, getting his nuts blown out, because now he can just bust loads in all these Bond girls. No kids, no responsibility. You can't really hurt Bond. He doesn't have any kids. You know, where are you gonna attack? He doesn't love anybody. He loves, country and M, but she eventually dies too. And I don't know if he loves the new M as much as he loves the old one. Because Dame Judi Dench, pretty fucking dope. That about covers it all, doesn't it? The Bond, Dutch scratching. God, that kills me. Sometimes involves the use of a foot, a balled chain, or anything that can induce pain in the male subject's testicles or perineum, also known as the gooch, while he is seated on a seatless chair. God. That Dutch scratching. Could you imagine? Ugh. I gotta get out. I gotta get out of here. That was it. I had all the points I wanted to hit. Did it all. We did it, guys. We did it. You guys happy? You think it went pretty well? Did I mumble too much? Probably. But did I talk about the highlights of this movie in the way that I think would make most of you pretty happy? Yeah, I think I did. So you know what, guys? Thank you so much. And check in next time for another episode. See, I can't even get through the closer of this without fucking up. God damn it. Shit fucking pisses me off. Blair, come on. Let's try it again. Thank you guys so much for listening to Run It Back. I'm your host, Blair Bomber, and catch us next time for another movie that I'm going to talk about that you're going to love to hear. Boom. We're out of here.